What's up, my fellow scruffy looking nerf herders, and welcome to the Carbonite Chat. Today I'm going to be talking about the villain of the Solo film, Dryden Vos, and how he's an absolutely insane psychopath. And how do I know that? Well, from a few different articles. One of them that was with Michael K. Williams, who was going to be playing the character before they had to do all the reshoots, and then it changed to Paul Bettany. He refers to the character as an animal. This kind of confused me a little bit to begin with. I thought it was kind of maybe an alien type race was what he was playing, but then articles came out from Kasdan, who wrote the script, and talking about like how they developed the characters and where they kind of got some of their ideas from, and this is where they began to say this is why they picked Paul Bettany to replace Michael K. Williams, because he said the villain, Dryden Vos, was developed to be like the character from this British film called Gangster No. which Paul Bettany played. So I watched the movie to try to figure out, get an idea of what the character might be like, because he said it's essentially that character, and so that's why they picked him, Paul Bettany, so he could play, and he knew exactly how to play the role because he's already been the role. Well, it's not a very good film, not that that has much effect on the Solo movie, so I say that so that if you consider watching it yourself, it's not really that good in my mind. But the character comes up, and he's young, kind of new on the scene, and he begins to work for this gang leader, this gangster, and this is the whole point of the movie, is that Paul Bettany's character tries to become the #1 gangster, and over time he becomes kind of frustrated with what's going on with this leader, and he takes over. And it happens early in the movie, and then the middle part of the movie to the end is him as the leader, and you see that he becomes frustrated and angry with the rest of the characters because he doesn't believe that they deserve it like he deserves it, that he's willing to do anything to be the leader, to be the best, to have this fear, to have this. He looks at the leader and he sees his nice suits, his little necktie pin, and it makes him want it. He sees the very nice, apartment kind of loft that he's in, and he wants it all. That's what he wants. He thinks it'll make him happy. And so he ends up setting the guy up, ends up getting him thrown in jail, and then he ends up killing the rest of those that are kind of against him. And he does it very brutally. And basically, anytime he goes to kill someone, he does it well beyond the requirement. Like, he goes and tries to kill someone that's working in the group with him, and he like chops them to pieces instead of just, killing him. A bullet to the head is enough to do it, but no, he like cuts his head off and cuts limbs off. And then another character, the other leader of a rival gang, he goes and he basically just tortures them. He rolls out this kit of different knives and stuff to just brutalize him, and it's definitely overdone. And then it has him just sitting there in his shirt and underwear, just blood all over him, just sitting there calmly, and then it shows him taking a shower with all the weapons, washing the blood away from all of the weapons, and it has zero effect on him. And that's, he's really a pretty solid mix of both a psychopath and a sociopath. Like, he's clearly has no conscience. He's not very social. Experiences with him and women is not normal, which is the one thing that kind of throws me off, because Michael K. Williams also said in an interview that he was that there was like a love triangle, so to speak, between Emilia Clarke's character qi'ra, Han Solo, and Dryden Vos. And it seems like that because this is later on in this character's life, Dryden Vos, that he's already at the top. One of the things that happened in the movie was that Paul Bettany's character, actually at older age, was played by Malcolm McDowell. He begins to want to try to find love because he's succeeded in everything he's wanted to do when it came to being, a leader of this kind of gang. And he's done better than anyone else. He controls everything. He's rich. He doesn't need anything, but he's still not happy. So he thinks maybe finding a wife. And so maybe that's the point in the life where this character is. But once he has everything, he begins to see someone else that is happier than him. The old leader gets out, doesn't want to take back over power, and seems perfectly happy. And it drives him crazy that that's the case. And I feel like that's going to kind of be along the lines where, the old leader ends up falling in love, is going to get married. And this starts the unraveling process of the main character. And I think that this is going to be somewhat similar to where he's going to see Han with qi'ra, and he's going to start to get jealous. Like, this kid's a nobody. Why does he have any, level? Why are you giving him any attention? I'm the big guy. I'm the big bad boss. Why don't I get whoever I want, whenever I want? So I think that's going to be kind of where that kind of pull goes, and that's pretty much what's been said in some articles talking about the character. But the main thing that I got from Gangster #1 and what Dryden Vos will be is that he's going to be kind of resentful, really ruthless, absolutely brutal. And this is where kind of the animal side comes. Like, he doesn't have a conscience. A lion goes and, kills an antelope, and it doesn't care. It doesn't bat an eye. It doesn't kind of have to reflect on what it's doing. It just does it. It just kills. And that was what this character from Gangster #1 was. And so I think that's what Michael K. Williams was talking about when he said Dryden Vos is like more animal than human. And I think that's very much what that character was. And that's what Paul Bettany will be playing. So, I mean, he's going to be absolutely crazy. We've seen some of the shots from the trailers where he's, hacking through and just cutting stuff up in what looks to be like his club. And then you also see a shot of him just overlooking. And I think this is going to be where he's watching qi'ra. He's got everything. What do I want? Here's this girl. And then there's this kind of, who's this punk kid that shows up out of nowhere? And also the character in the movie, he's constantly afraid that someone's going to backstab him and someone's going to try to take over. He's always, he's making sure that everyone's in line at every point. And if you're not, you're going to pay for it. And I think this is going to be one of the things that we see when, Tobias Beckett, played by Woody Harrelson, is going to put together the team, as we know, and they're going to go to try to do a move. But it's also said in some articles that Tobias Beckett has kind of got some dreams of making a bigger score himself, trying to finally really make it in the world. And maybe that begins to kind of push against Dryden Vos and what he's wanting. He feels betrayed, and then because he's not a big fan of Solo, he's going to try to, hammer home a little bit harder, and that it's going to be constantly from every single side coming after him. And I think that Dryden Vos should be, if they follow this character, should be one of the most dangerous, scary, and truly psychopathic characters that we've had in all of Star Wars. But anyways, that is kind of the breakdown of that character from what I got with the movie that they said that they followed it from with Paul Bettany. Again, I wasn't a fan of the movie, mainly because it was just the way it was shot was so weird. There was some really bad editing choices, in my opinion. The flow was off, the structure was out, the pacing, it wasn't great. But, they're just focusing on this particular character, which the character could be interesting. But I wanted to, now we're a month into before Solo comes out, I want to go through all the different articles discussing movies, ideas, kind of where they're trying to, how Kasdan pieced together this. Because at least Kasdan is a very talented writer, and so kind of trying to break down his mindset of where he's going and what possibly he might kind of have in store. So looking over all those different movies, books, and examples that he kind of went back to for inspiration for this story. And this is the first one, breaking down Dryden Vos. I look forward to hearing all of your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. And never forget, you Nerf Herders, I love you.